You have been the blueprint, and I'm talking to Colorado and Coach Primer. You have been the blueprint on how the transfer portal could be a complete detriment to your team. One thing I've been saying over the years is, how are you going to bring all these players to Colorado, 40 plus players at a time, and how these guys are just going to mesh together? Over the years, I was called a hater. I did not think that this experiment was going to work. I didn't. And we're seeing that yet again. Is Coach Prime on the hot seat, y'all? Is this going to be another coaching vacancy that we see come up? Coach Prime has to go, man. The experiment that you've done while bringing in these Hall of Fame players, Warren Sapp, Marshall Faulk, as coaches, isn't working anymore. It's not. These guys don't have the experience that you need them to have to make this program successful. The worst mistake he made was getting rid of Sean Lewis for Pat Shurmur. I've talked about this with a couple people already, and I just want to go ahead and put this go ahead and put this officially on video for you guys. He could puppet Pat Shurmur, but I can tell you right now, he couldn't do that with Sean Lewis, and that's why Sean Lewis was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to San Diego State, and my team is 6-1 right now. That's what Sean Lewis did. He overnight, and I think San Diego State just shut out Fresno State the other day, single-handedly turned that program around in 2 years, doing something that Prime couldn't do right now, where he should have went to a Group of 5 school and started there. Kaidon Salter's wasting his last year with the team that he trusted in, and the coaching is ruining him. You cannot sit up here and tell me with a straight face that when you watch Kaidon Salter play at Liberty, that you thought that this man was a bad quarterback. A guy that went undefeated at Liberty, only to lose to Florida State, I believe it was. Or, I'm sorry, not Florida State, it was Oregon. He trusted in them, where he could have went to a lot of other schools. We're talking about a kid that went to Tennessee, got into a little bit of trouble, transferred out to Liberty, stayed there, got them an undefeated season, and then his last year decides to come to Colorado, where he thinks he's going to make some things happen. I'm going to reiterate this, man. Pat Shurmur's play calling has been atrocious. Just go watch the film. You don't even need to watch the film. You need to go and watch just the game tape. The actual rebroadcast is horrible. Did anybody see Kaidon's reaction? Did anybody see Kaidon Salter's reaction after the play call that Pat Shurmur made? They zoomed in on his face, and he was like, what are we doing? The last game, Pat Shurmur called the same play 3 times in a row on one drive. And for their 5-star tackle, and Jordan Seaton, dude has all the talent in the world. The last game, they made him look like a turnstile. He should have been developed better. I believe he's still going to be a high draft pick somewhere. But instead of being a for sure first-round pick, he went to Colorado trusting in these coaches when he really should have got out of there and started to develop himself on another good team. You have been the blueprint, and I'm talking to Colorado and Coach Primer. You have been the blueprint on how the transfer portal could be a complete detriment to your team. One thing I've been saying over the years is, how are you going to bring all these players to Colorado, 40 plus players at a time, and how these guys are just going to mesh together? Over the years, I was called a hater. I did not think that this experiment was going to work. I didn't. And we're seeing that yet again. Coach Prime is 16-17 in his career and his record right now as it stands going into week 10 of the college football season. Remember, year 1, he had a 4-win season, which we predicted right on the money. Last year, they just surprised us a little bit. Got some wins they probably shouldn't have gotten. Then got the smack Deezy from Kansas and BYU. We'll get back to that in a little bit. So they had 9 wins last year. This year, they only have 3 wins. 3 wins. They should have lost to Iowa State, but we'll give them that. 3 wins this year. Where's all these celebrities at now? Where's all these media personalities that you were bringing into the game? Nobody wants to be around a losing program. When you sell snake oil, eventually people are going to know that they got. But we were called the idiots on this channel. We were. Every time we've warned you guys that this was not going to work. There are many YouTube channels out there with the name Buffs, Prime, Colorado, of fake Colorado fans everywhere that made a mockery out of things for what Coach Prime promised. They were made of a mockery because of this. And one thing that could have capped off what could have put him in a better light is one thing that he could have changed in the retirement of 𝙎𝙤𝙘𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 retired the number 2 for 𝙎𝙤𝙀𝘀𝗀𝗏. I said this once and I'll say it again officially here. Not retiring Deon Figures, the star cornerback back in the 80s for the Colorado Buffs, who was inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame last year, was the best number 2 that ever came from that school. For you not to have retired Deon Figures' number before you retired 𝙎𝙤𝙀𝗀𝗏𝗀's was a fatal mistake. And I think a lot of alumni really started falling off the train because of that. The support that you got really came for not honoring what Deon Figures did. The guy that played your position. You didn't do that. You didn't do the right thing for Colorado in that aspect. It's almost like that was bad. This whole thing that's been happening this year is like bad luck from just around that. That's if you believe that type of stuff. You can't allow your Jackson State and Colorado teams to be defined by what Travis Hunter did and how 𝙎𝙀𝙀𝗀𝗏 was coddled for his stat padding. Just because you can stat pass doesn't mean that you're a good quarterback. Coach Prime in top 25 matchups is 2-6. He just got his other one this year by beating Iowa State. Previous to that, he beat a TCU team where they were gutted from the national championship. It's not something to hang your hat on. He's 0-3 in bowl games. He lost 36-14 to BYU in their only FBS bowl game that they've played in. If you go back to his FCS days when he was with Jackson State, they lost against South Carolina State in a bad affair, and they lost in the overtime to to North Carolina Central in both times in the Celebration Bowl. You have a losing culture. Guess what? The current coach at Jackson State right now that should be getting praise just beat South Carolina State last year in the Celebration Bowl. He's done something that you haven't done. This is not a dig at Coach Prime or Colorado. This is a cry for help at this point in time. Help your fans. Get these guys back bought in. You need legit coaches, man. You said that you were bringing Louis, but Colorado has been the bottom of the barrel, man. You brought fake Louis to Colorado. That's nasty work. So for all this, man, when you think about the whole landscape of Colorado athletics right now, you can't be just, I bring excitement to the school. I haven't seen the Lil Waynes. I haven't seen the celebrities. I haven't seen Terrell Owens. Where are all these guys at now? It's a dysfunctional group, and people are not agreeing with the way that you've gone about this. Your team should be playing better for you with the health issues that you're going through and everything more than what they are right now. This is not a team that I would even want to play for. Those guys quit last week. Yeah, you made a great decision by benching a lot of those guys, but your guys quit. You have a a culture at Colorado that's full of quitting. And that sucks because you're such a polarizing figure, and that's why people got behind you. But look, D-Cell, I didn't drink that Kool-Aid, man. I didn't. You got to show me. You got to show me. You got to go about it the right way. I just don't think this was handled the right way.